Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup. Jordan, thanks for joining us on the show again, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's always good to be on the show. So
Yeah.
I think we've done it. We did it once last year, once the year before. So I guess, third year in a row. So pretty good.
Three. Yeah, the threequel. Yeah.
That's it. How's things been on your end, man?
Good, dude. Good. Just pumping through the year, the halfway point. So going hard with the music and the podcast and the whole thing.
Yeah, fantastic, man. That's unreal.
Thanks, man. Trying to stay away from the new strain, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard that's become a thing. So fingers crossed we don't get it.
Yeah, that's it, eh? Yeah, we don't need any more of that shit.
Nah, that's it. Have you had it yet?
Yeah, a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, it destroyed me for like half a week, eh? It's brutal.
Man, it's the worst, hey. Like I had it back around Christmas. And yeah, dude, like for months afterwards, like after I got better, I was still just noticing the after effects, like trouble breathing and all that kind of stuff, which of course affects the singing, and it lingered for ages.
I found that too. Like I was shitting hard, dude. Like when I went to jam, and my voice just didn't have. I was like, I was like, is it?
Yeah.
Am I done? It's like, can
I? Yeah, dude, it's so rough. But oh well, we got through it. So
for now,
that's it.
Well, of course, man, I got to say, I can't even talk properly on a Sunday. This is a real rolling thing with me. Let me back that up. Bad Moon Born. You guys recently dropped Incense. It's gonna be me or May. It's gonna be May.
One of them. Yeah, I think it's May. Yeah.
May.
Or it was.
Well, it was. Yeah. I don't think anyone saw it coming, but it works, and it came out. Really
I'm glad to hear that, man. That means a lot because we were sitting, through like the production process and everything, and we were psyched on it, and we were like just. Vora and I were just sitting there adding little bits and pieces and coming up with different ways to do it and all that kind of stuff. And then we were sort of sitting on it for a bit. And by the time the release came around, obviously, when you're sitting on something for a while and you go, fuck, is this actually even good? I don't really, what's going on? But luckily, all the feedback's been positive. So
yeah, man.
I guess we got it all right. So yeah.
One of those things where it's like when it can sometimes when you dip in your toes in the water with covers, especially when you're going that far into it can be a bit of a risky thing for bands.
Yeah.
But you guys pull it off.
Absolutely. Oh, thanks so much, man. No, it was definitely tricky waters to navigate. But we had so much fun doing it, and the whole process of deciding to do it to figuring out how we were going to do it. And then recording it was just so much fun, and we all enjoyed it a lot more than we thought we would. So, yeah, it was sort of a good experience all around.
I mean, your last one was the last cover was Billie Eilish's "Bad Guy," which just blew up. Like,
yeah, back in 2020, yeah. That was really unusual because that was one of those things that we sort of we put it out there, and a bunch of mates and a couple of people who enjoy other music. We're into it, and they thought it was great. And then it was it just kind of tapered off, and nothing really happened with it. And then all of a sudden, a couple of months later, it just started exploding and getting a lot of traction in the US, which was we sort of hadn't had that before, I guess, in terms of the way of like releasing something and then having it sort of stall, I guess, a bit in terms of traction, and then start to climb, and it just kept going, which was really exciting. And Voya and I were like sending each other, the Spotify for artist numbers updates and stuff like that, like every night, I think. And it was so exciting to see. So that was a really good experience.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but how did the NSYNC cover come about? I mean, that's so it's so out there for a metal band to even go and have the balls to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it sort of came about like I think last time I spoke to you, we sort of delved into the whole the Heart from the Hollow series and what each single kind of represented, and that was quite dark creatively, exploring those kinds of topics and getting really personal with the lyric writing and all that kind of stuff. And I think like it was particularly cathartic for me going through that experience of being able to tell a lot of elements of my story and stuff like that. And I think afterwards we were just drained of doing the really personal stuff, and we kind of wanted something that was kind of going to break that mold, move away from that era, and almost cleanse the palette before we inviting people into the world of the debut album that we're currently working on. So it was really just something to break the tension, I guess. And I've personally wanted to do like a metal boy band cover for I think maybe 10 years or something like that. It's just always been something that like I thought would be cool. And I remember playing a couple of versions of different covers and stuff like that in previous bands, but never actually going through and producing and releasing one. So we were kind of sitting down and we sort of decided that we were going to do a cover for the next release, as that kind of palette cleanser. And we sat down and tried a couple of different things, and I suggested the NSYNC cover, and Boy was like, I don't know, man. And I was like, can we just try it? And then if you like it, we'll continue on. If you don't like it, we'll just fuck it off. And he was like, really not too keen on it. Hey, and I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, let's just give it a crack, like, please. And then, we started like arranging it and stuff like that. And then I think his response was, oh, this is actually pretty fucking mad. And so and then I was like, yeah, man, it's actually sounding really cool. And then we tried a bunch of different things. And then, obviously got the boys in to do their bits, and it sort of I guess just evolved into what it became. And yeah, it was so much fun doing it, and just such a breath of fresh air after focusing on doing the Heart from the Hollow series, which I think we started writing that early to mid 2020, and then released the final single of it in at the start of 2022. So it had almost been sort of 2 years of focusing solely on that. So to be able to kind of do something that we were all really excited about, and something that was a bit more light and fluffy was, a lot of fun, even if it did take a little bit of convincing on Voya's end.
Were there other covers that have been sort of floating around that sort of you've gone, oh, maybe?
Yeah, well, Voya, I know Voya's just super keen to do a Red Hot Chili Peppers cover. He loves that band, and we sort of mucked around with a couple of versions of one of the songs, and it didn't sort of pan out. But I mean, we're always kind of trying new things, so who knows? Like maybe 6 months down the track or a year or whatever, we might have a crack at it again and figure it out.
Was it early Chili's you're looking at, or is it sort of later era?
Oh, dude, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea about the Chili Peppers, but Voya's the Chili Peppers. Actually, a lot of the boys do enjoy the Chili Peppers. So
no, I'm gonna be. They were my very first show I ever saw, but in 1996 when I was a young lad. That was like the first band I ever saw live. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, with Regurgitator in Brisbane.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the Gurge, I was like, holy shit, Gurge like mopped the floor with them. Like it was
right.
It was all over the papers the next day. But I love that
album,
unreal. That 1 Hot Minute album, like great.
Yeah,
back, but I'm not a big fan of Californication onwards, and I've had many
arguments
with people about that. But man, some of that stuff, that's such a dark album. Doesn't get the respect.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll actually have to go back and listen to it because I don't think I've heard.
Oh, dude, it's so good, man. Dave Navarro, like, yeah, I was such a, yeah, that was like the first gig I went to. What was the first show you ever?
Yes.
Do you remember it?
Dude, I saw my first big concert.
Yeah,
I think would have been like, I would have just been 18 or something, and it was I think Motley Crue and I think it was Poison. Was it Poison? I don't know, maybe just Bret Michaels, but it was Motley Crue. And I think I would have been about 18 or 19. I saw, a couple of Aussie shows. Like I used to go and see like I Killed the Prom Queen and Cup Aiken and all those guys. back at like youth centers and stuff like that when they were starting out. But yeah, the first big concert was probably Crew.
There you go. Go. Man, everyone's got their first gig. You never.
Oh yeah.
Big first gig.
No, I've got the photo of it. I think I've got this photo like just outside the venue, and I'm holding like Tommy Lee's drumstick, and I've got like the fake Nikki Sixx blood all over me, like little front row, and yeah, just absolutely mental. It was a really good time, and I think sort of Vince started to go properly downhill with his voice. So,
oh man, but I mean, you just mentioned about wrapping up the the Heart from the Hollow collection. Now, how are you feeling about that moving into new material? Do you feel like it's a chapter that's been bookend in your life? Because it's quite personal. A lot of those lyrics are really personal. How do you feel not leaving it behind, but putting that time stamp in your life and moving on to this new material? Where's the direction? How are you feeling about it?
Pretty good, man. I mean, it was so therapeutic for me. Like before the Heart from the Hollow collection, like I'd never really gone super personal with my lyric writing. So that was kind of my first, foray into that world.
Yeah.
So having done it now, and I guess I was always a little bit apprehensive about going there, because you don't know what you might find if you start exploring the inner depths of the shadows. But it was it was so therapeutic, and sort of proved to myself that I can write within that scope and all that kind of stuff. So moving forward, like I'm happy within Bad Moon Born to move away from the more personal stuff, and I think the direction's going to be a little different moving forward. But it definitely feels like a closed chapter for those kinds of stories in my life. But that's not to say there's not still a lot of stories to tell. So I think I feel quite accomplished being able to sort of release that, and especially it was sort of nearly a 2-year process. So and it was quite full on throughout the whole 2 years. So yeah, being able to do it, you sort of look back on it and with fond memories, but not necessarily wanting to go back there anytime soon.
Yeah. I get it. I totally understand that one. Yeah. But you guys did the Rolling Stone in My Room session.
Yeah.
Cool, dude.
Thanks, man. No, we fucking loved doing that. That was, such an honor to be, featured on Rolling Stone and all that kind of stuff. And I think we're all really happy with how we performed and all that kind of stuff. And thanks so much, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, I dug that. Like, where was that? Where was that? Let me see. I told you it's a Sunday night thing. Let me.
Oh man, it's Sunday night. Don't worry, I'm right there with
you. Where was that recorded?
So we did that at our studio in Homebush. So we've got a little space there that we rent, and where we set up everything, and it's kind of like our rehearsal room and a little bit of a jam room, and where we sometimes record studio stuff. So yeah,
that was super nice tidy. Super tidy for a jam room, man. Like if you saw ours, you'd be like, "Holy shit!"
You're
like, cool. There's posters on the wall. There's like, it's like. It's well worn.
It's well loved, maybe,
well loved. I'd say it's definitely well loved. But I love that little room. Lake Mountain HQ.
Awesome.
But I mean, you were meant to be playing up here in Brisbane, and then something happened while you were on tour. What happened?
So we played, this was the It's Gonna Be an East Coast tour, which was, I guess, just to celebrate the release of the cover. And, we had Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane booked over the course of a weekend. And, it was kind of cool because obviously we haven't, played interstate for about 2 years, I think, with COVID and everything like that. And so, we hired a bus and drove the whole way because for whatever reason, that seemed like the right thing to do. And it's like, fuck, man, it's like we're like 18 and 19 again, all crammed in a bus, like doing 12-hour drives and then performing, then going straight to bed and doing another 12 hours. And it was pretty intense. I was really sick with the flu as well. And to the point where I was like, fuck, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this. And it was like, no, just push on. Just you'll be right, It was So that was interesting. A little bit more death metal vocally than I usually am, but it was, it was a lot of fun, and so the Melbourne show went quite well, and then we got up to Sydney, and I think we might have arrived there at like 6 after driving from Melbourne, and managed to get all the stuff into the venue, and it's all going well and everything like that. We're in the middle of sound check, and I think Voya turned around to do something, and just his foot slipped. There was like a big step going into the green room, and he just sort of didn't see it, like step back and fell off it onto his wrist. And came back up, and he was like, and obviously you've got the weight of the guitar on you and all that kind of stuff, and he felt quite awkwardly. I didn't see it. I think I was off doing some kind of mischief, but I sort of came back up, and he's like, man, I just fell off the stage, and I was like, oh, okay, like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, just my arm's fucked. And I went, shit, are you all right? Like, and he's like, yeah, man, it's really sore. And he showed me, and it was like really swollen. So I was like, you reckon you'll be able to play? And he's like, yeah, I'll try and get through it. And he ended up sort of wrapping it and playing the show. And after the show, I was like, man, how's it feeling? He's like, dude, it's really sore. He's like, I'm all good for Brisbane. If it feels like this tomorrow, I think I'll be okay for Brisbane. But I'll let you know in the morning. So in the morning, I drove over to the studio where we're all meeting to leave for Brizzy. And he comes out, and he's just like, yeah, man, I think I'm going to be able to do this. And I was like, oh, shit, really? And he goes, yeah, I fully can't move my fingers. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, well, we'll sort of cancel the show. Like, I'll let everyone know. And then you need to go and see a doctor. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, hey, man, your arm's broken. Oh. So he, man, he properly broke, like, he got out of, like, he had to have surgery on it, which he got out from, I think, like last week or the week before. And I think he had to get like a plate put in or something. So, he managed to play through that Sydney show with a broken wrist, which is nuts.
That is nuts. That's how well, it's not how you do it, but it's how you do it. Most musicians.
Yeah.
I did it. I had something similar years ago. I fell off.
Yeah, right.
I stepped back off the drum rise in the stairs to the side of the stage. We're very close, and I tumbled in. It was packed room. This like mini festival, and everyone went, ooh,
right. Yeah.
And I got up there, and I remember putting my leg up and feeling it going click, 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 click.
Oh no!
And I was like, I'll just drink this away. And I woke up
that's it,
and man, it was like, oh. And it still gives me grief, man. It's forever. Just my knee is forever like cooked.
Shit, really? So did you break something or fracture it or sprain it or what?
Yeah, just really bad. Like, just I didn't get. I just brushed it off, which was kind of stupid. I went to the hospital and went, oh yeah, I'll be right. And they
that's all right.
But it's just always I've always had trouble with it. So yeah, it's rock and roll.
That's it, man.
Set. You finish your set, and then you deal with consequences later.
That's like I might have been like 2021, and I chipped my tooth on the microphone. So I for some stupid reason I went to do a big yell and just misjudged the distance and clipped my tooth, and I was like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's definitely chipped, and just had to kind of push through. Luckily it wasn't too bad, but and they managed to sort of fix it quite easily. But it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, either I can, stop the show and just bugger off, which, I'm going to cop shit with from my bandmates for the rest of my time here, or I can, just try and muscle through it and figure it out later.
That's rock and roll. That's how you do it.
That's it, mate. Yeah, that's it.
You got to keep
rock and roll.
But I saw Carmeria. Carmeria. Said that right. Yeah.
You did.
I've got the Sunday nights. I told you there's something wrong with me tonight. Sorry, bro. Let me.
It's going around, man.
I know.
Don't worry about it.
Would. Yeah. So I saw you guys are making a video. Yeah, a sneaky little video clip. What's going on?
No, not particularly. No, it was a photo shoot.
Oh, was it? Okay. What's going on?
Yes. It's album 2 promo.
Yeah.
No.
I'll stop the recording, or I'll just pretend to, and then
yeah.
all
just put a black bar over my mouth.
And lower the voice,
no,
like they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. So we got together. I think last weekend it was, and just to take some photos, basically give us our year's worth of content for the next album. And it went really well, and we all look quite dapper, I might say. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. We're actually going away from tomorrow for a pre-production week.
Excellent.
So yeah.
What's it called?
I can't say yet.
Oh, almost. See, sometimes I get people to spill out and they go, "Oh, you got to delete that."
Yeah. But don't worry, I'll tell you off there.
On the sneaky. But yeah, man, are you planning on coming back up and playing some shows up here? Unfinished business. What's going on? What's the next step for you?
Yeah, so Voya's out of action, I think for another 5 weeks. So he probably won't be able to play until like around sort of mid-August-ish, and then we'll sort of get together and see how it goes, and see how he's feeling and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, we definitely want to get up to Brisbane because it's been so long since we've played there, and we've got a lot of friends up there and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, we feel like we owe it to the people for not being able to, make it a couple months ago. But definitely looking to get up there. It's just a matter of time in terms of how Voya heals and how his rehab goes and all that kind of stuff. For his arm, not for anything else. But so definitely plans for it. And then with Carmeria, I think we've got this pre-production week starting tomorrow, and then I think we're just going to go hell for leather in terms of getting this album ready and pitching to a couple of labels and all that kind of stuff. So we might do a couple of shows here and there, but I'd say we'd probably be holding it for next year. But then again, I don't know, we might get offered an opportunity that we can't refuse. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. Sounds awesome. That sounds really cool. Well, dude, it's been awesome hanging out with you again, man. It's it was a little.
It's so good to see you, man. Yeah. Always enjoy talking to you, man. It's always good to catch up.
Yeah, you too, brother. You too. And we'll have all the links down here.
Yes, all the links, all the links down, all that kind of stuff.
Right here in the show notes. Brother, you take care. I'm going to give you a Bowie Cup salute. And we will see you very, very, very soon, I hope.
Sounds like a plan. Awesome. Thanks so much for having me on, man.